Hey stylists, welcome back to my channel. It's Kristen, your favorite style biz coach, and I'm happy to be here with another video, y'all. I have been trying my best to stay consistent and just sharing some easy tips and easy advice when it comes to building your styling business. So honestly, this idea just popped up in my head. I recently had a style assessment scheduled with a potential client and she did not show up. So this is not the first time that anything like this has happened throughout my entire career. It's happened quite a few times, honestly, more than quite a few. Now I'm in a space where I'm okay with it. It used to really bother me, but I've grown to understand that everything happens for a reason and that not every client is meant to work with you. And also, not every opportunity that feels like it's missed is a bad thing. There is no such thing as missing an opportunity that's just for you. So I wanted to make this video to just break down maybe 3 to 4 things that I feel as though is important for you to know as a stylist that most stylists don't talk about. I'm sure many of you follow your favorite stylists and favorite fashion influencers on social media, and everything just looks peachy keen. You know, they have perfect photos, they have the perfect clients, they do great work. But many of them aren't showing you or even talking about the behind the scenes and like what happens when things go wrong, because things will go wrong. And again, wrong isn't a bad thing. Everything happens for a reason. And when things happen that aren't a part of our plan, that means we just weren't on track with God's plan for us. So I'm excited to hop into it, but real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Project Style University, where I help first generation personal stylists truly transform their passion for styling into a profitable business. And I do that through coaching, through mentorship, and obviously YouTube videos. So I'm just excited to hop right into it. I have about 3 to 4 scenarios that I'm going to talk through that you probably have never even thought would happen in your styling career. So number 1, as I mentioned earlier this week, I got stood up by a client, y'all. This again has happened multiple times, and honestly, I'm starting to think that there is really no way around it. So initially in my previous videos, the last video I want to say, I talked about a business process. And in my business process, the first step is just a conversation that I'm having with the client. We're connecting, I'm getting to know them, I'm getting to understand them, why they reached out, why they want to work with the stylist, and all the things. And I'm also, talking through what I can do for them and how I can help them. So a woman scheduled a phone call or a initial conversation with me, and I typically send an email the morning of just to confirm with the link for the Zoom, because I have my calls over Zoom. And typically they respond back and say, okay, cool, looking forward to it. But this time I didn't get that. So I'm like, okay, maybe she got it and she just didn't feel the need to respond. No worries. Hop on the Zoom, was sitting there for about 5 minutes. Okay, maybe she's looking for the link. A lot of people sometimes, when you email them ahead of time with the link, they either don't get the email, or maybe the email goes to spam, or maybe they just miss the email. A lot of people don't check their emails, y'all, which is crazy to me and will always be crazy to me because I check my email multiple times a day. Personally, I don't get it, but it is what it is. So at this point, I had been sitting on the call for 10 minutes, and I really only give 10 minutes of my time until I either cancel the client or get them to reschedule. So 10 minutes has gone by and this client has not shown up. She didn't respond to my email. I also sent another email to follow up to say, hey, I'm sorry you missed your call. I'm sorry I missed you, but you can reschedule clicking the link here. So no response at all. One thing I will say is that I just added her to my mailing list, my emailing list, which is something that you should be growing as a stylist, especially in this day and age, because not every single client that you work with is going to be on social media. Not everybody is going to find you on LinkedIn or Instagram or even YouTube. So it's important that you have an opportunity to stay connected with potential clients through email. That way they can read your email and, you know, just learn from you outside of social media. Like I mentioned, this isn't the first time that this has happened. It hasn't happened in a long time, but this isn't the first time that this has happened. So I want to just prep you for those experiences when you are expecting to work with the client, are excited to connect with the client and talk to a client, especially when it's a step in your process that is free. When things are free, people just don't always take it seriously, and it's nothing lost on their part. Like, they're not losing any time, they're not losing any money. So if they don't show up, or if they're unable to show up, they just don't feel like it's a big deal. But for you, it is, because, you know, you set aside time for them. You're the expert. You're excited to chat with them, excited to share, you know, your expertise. So when they don't show up, it can feel like, that's annoying, or this is a bummer. But things like that will happen. And in order for you to just continue staying strong and faithful throughout this styling journey, you have to know that every client isn't for you. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe that client just wasn't the right time for her to work with me. Maybe she didn't have the money to invest right away and she was afraid to respond to the email. I don't know. There are so many assumptions that can come up about why a client doesn't show up or why a client may ghost you. But what you do have is your integrity, and you now have their contact information. So you can always follow up. You can always add them to your mailing list. You can always connect with them on social media if you have access to their handle, and you can keep it moving. And if they're wanting to work with you and are excited to get back into the swing of things, they'll reach back out. But if not, don't feel like there's an opportunity missed. Don't feel like you missed out on a potential client, and don't feel like you need to chase after the client, y'all. You are the prize, you are the value. So allow the clients to come to you. Of course, do your part, reach out, follow up, however many times you feel is needed, but don't chase the client. It's never worth it. And usually those clients will kind of tell you that they're not ready, and will kind of show you that they're not ready if they don't respond. All right, so the second thing that I feel like a lot of stylists don't mention throughout their styling journey, a lot of successful stylists, is that slow seasons exist, y'all. There is not always going to be client after client after client after client. For some stylists, it may be, but for other stylists, it may not be. And that's okay. And I'm one of them. I mean, for me personally, I definitely know that I don't want a bunch of clients at one time. To me, what I offer is very valuable. It takes time. It takes a lot of patience. And in order for me to make sure that I am properly serving each and every one of my clients and making an impact, I can only really focus on maybe 2 to 3 clients at a time, max. So for me, I don't need a bunch of clients. So when things do slow down, it doesn't really feel like a huge transition for me, because on a typical day, I'm really only working with 1 to 3 clients at a time anyway. So when things do slow down, I take it as an opportunity to rest. I take it as an opportunity to work on my business, update anything that needs to be updated, make any necessary changes that maybe I had been putting off because I was too busy, refocusing in on my why and really making sure that I stay true to why I'm doing this, writing out my goals and strategizing and preparing for the next big thing. Praying. Obviously, I do this all the time, but when seasons are slow, you have more time to pray and more time to ask God, okay, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Who am I supposed to be working with? How am I supposed to be serving my clients? All the things. So don't take the slow season as like, where are the clients at? Like, am I not doing enough, or am I doing something wrong? No, that actually may not even be the case. You may be doing everything right. You may be doing everything that you need to do. It's just that a season where clients may or may not be coming in. So you can do what I'm suggested earlier as far as resting, working on your business, taking time to yourself, self-care, investing in a coach, investing in the proper help. But you can also just allow yourself some time to take a step back. You can also consider pivoting in a new direction if you feel the need to. So maybe trying something new, adding a new service, taking away a service, revamping your entire business. Now, just because a season is slow doesn't mean that a change needs to happen every single slow season. No, that is not what I'm saying. But if you feel the need to make a new change in your business, updating your prices, changing how you offer your services, updating your process, your business process, I'm just encouraging you to use your time wisely when the seasons are slow. Pivot in new directions where maybe you're not just focused on styling clients physically, but also providing them the resources. Maybe create an ebook, hop on YouTube, start curating videos, teaching and educating your potential clients when it comes to styling, as opposed to feeling like you just need to physically dress people. It's so many different ways that you can do what you do as a stylist, and I talk about this all the time. And now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually make a video about how to diversify your expertise as a stylist, because there's so many things that you can do as a stylist aside from just physically styling clients. And I talk about this all the time. But aside from that, definitely want to encourage you to use your time wisely. When you feel like you're in a slow season, when you feel like business has kind of slowed down a bit, be intentional with your time. Talk to God about it, ask him, seek him, and I just encourage you to stay faithful, because downtime isn't always bad time. And honestly, it's just a time for you to rest before things start to pick back up again. So the last thing that I want to say that I feel like stylists don't typically talk about when it comes to the styling industry and just the success that stylists have, we don't talk about when clients don't enjoy working with us. They don't love what we've picked out for them. They don't love just the whole experience. The experience wasn't a good fit for them. Now, I will say it's important to do all that you can to kind of avoid this from happening. So asking the right questions, charging at the right point in the process, pricing your offers and your experiences the proper way, and making sure that you are being transparent and setting the foundation in the beginning stages so the client knows what they're getting themselves into. I've been in situations where I've done all of that and still the client wasn't satisfied. And in this situation, you've done all that you could do. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. You did more than what they probably have requested. You kept things professional. Your communication level was at an all-time high. Like, you did everything. And the client just still wasn't satisfied. And sometimes you'll get clients like that. Sometimes clients won't love everything that you picked out for them, and they won't properly communicate why. They won't give you the necessary feedback that you need. They won't provide you with the testimonial. They just won't. A lot of the times you'll send over the finished product, whether that be a lookbook or a mood board or whatever it is that you're promising the client. Sometimes you'll send that over, that's it. You'll get no response. The client will ghost you. They won't provide you with anything. Even if you follow up, even if you do everything that you can think of, client just wasn't satisfied. And it sucks. I have had quite a few experiences like that. And behind the scenes, I'm kicking and screaming like, what is going on? Why can't people just be honest? Why can't people just say what it is? If you don't like it, cool. But how will I know that if you don't express that to me? How will I know that if you don't communicate that to me? I feel like most clients think that, oh, if I tell her I don't like it, it's gonna hurt her feelings. Or if I tell her I don't love this, it's gonna make her feel away. And it's like, sis, I'm not married to none of these clothes. I don't make I didn't make any of these clothes. I am not the founder of either of these clothing brands. I didn't make these clothes. And even if I did, if you don't like something, you just don't like it. You're not hurting my feelings, you know? And that's how clients think. They think they're gonna hurt your feelings. They think they're gonna make you sad. And what they don't realize is that when they don't communicate, it's actually hurting them, because now I won't be able to properly help you, you know, as your stylist, because I have no idea what you're thinking. I have no idea your feedback. I have no idea what you like and what you don't like from what I've provided. And also too, you know, people's perception on what certain things mean is completely different from your own. And I'm probably going to do a video on this too. But, you know, what I think is considered edgy or casual or romantic or androgynous can be completely different from what you think is all of the things. And that can also be completely different from what the client thinks all of that looks like. So that's another thing too. When it comes to working with your clients, you have to educate them. You have to let them know, this is my definition of what this looks like for you. And if this doesn't align with your definition of what your personal style can look like for you, then there's a disconnect. Something needs to change. Something needs to shift if you and your client are not on the same page. And sometimes it's impossible to get on the same page as a client. Clients can be stubborn. They can be hard to work with. It can be a challenging experience for you. Some clients will come to you and they won't listen. They won't allow you to do your job. They just won't make it an easy experience for you. And I get it. I mean, most times it's their first time working with the stylist. Most times it's their first time handing over this particular task to someone else who they may or may not know all that well. So they're just trying to build their trust. This is a touchy subject. Talking about what you're wearing, what you're putting on your body, how you're showing up. It's a touchy subject for a lot of people. So you have to be open to just the process of it all. You have to be understanding as a stylist. You have to give grace and extend grace as a stylist, but you also have to give yourself grace too. You won't know the answers to everything. You won't always be right. But what clients also need to realize is that stylists aren't perfect and stylists make mistakes as well. And this is all a learning experience and an opportunity for each of us to grow as the stylist and as the client. So when you set the foundation and let the client know, like, hey, I'm going to do my best to make the best suggestions for you as an expert using the information that I now have about you. But if there is something that you want me to change, if there is something that you don't love, if there is something that you're hesitant about, please do not hesitate to communicate that to me and be vocal and let me know, because otherwise this won't be a great experience for you. And you can legit say that and stand firm on your words. Be confident with what you're saying, because clients will take advantage and they will walk all over you if you allow them to. And I'm not one to be walked all over, and I don't think that you are either. Those are my top 3 things that I truly believe aren't talked about enough in the styling industry when it comes to running a business. So a quick recap: clients will ghost you, clients will stand you up, and it sucks, but it is what it is, and you just have to roll with the punches. There will be slow seasons that exist in your styling business, so use that time wisely, y'all. You can pivot, you can rest, you can talk to God, which you should be doing at all times. You can use this opportunity to revamp your business, to hire help, to seek clarity on what it is that you should be doing. But make sure you use your time wisely. And last but not least, not every client is going to love working with you. Not every client is going to enjoy your styling, the styling experience that you're offering them. And yeah, it sucks, but it also gives you everything that you need to know moving forward. So when you work with other clients and you take them through the same process, you'll know what to do and what not to do. And you'll also have an idea of what works and what doesn't work. And you'll do more of what works and less of what doesn't work, so that you can avoid a client not enjoying the experience altogether the next time. But remember, some clients are just hard to please, and 9 times out of 10, those clients just weren't meant to work with you anyway. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I did not scare you all from the styling industry and just being successful, but I do want to keep it real with y'all. That's why I created this platform, to share my honest feedback, to share my honest opinions, and just my overall perspective on what it looks like to be a successful personal stylist in the styling industry. So if you have any questions for me, definitely don't hesitate to drop them below. I would love to know what your questions are, and I'll be happy to answer them. And I think that's all I got for y'all today. I love this series of styling business blues because it helps me to just talk through some of the scenarios that I've experienced and to shed some light on the things that I feel like a lot of stylists try to hide. So again, I hope this was helpful. My name is Kristen Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Project Style University, where I help first-generation personal stylists truly transform their passion for styling into a profitable business. So if that is who you are, and if you want to continue learning from me, make sure you subscribe, you comment below, and just stay tuned for the next video. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye.